This video is sponsored by Squarespace. So I'm taking another trip to Japan. I know I have a problem. I've been twice already in 1 year, but I cannot stay away and I'm ready to go back. Let's talk about the camera and accessories I'm gonna be bringing with me. So last year I was able to go to Japan twice, and each of those different times I brought a different setup. The first time I had the XS20, the second time I had the XT5. Both times I pretty much brought a pancake lens with me, but this time I have the GFX100 RF and I'm super excited to bring it along on this trip. Now, the biggest question is, why am I bringing the 100 RF on a trip like this? So let's talk about my thought process through it. The first and kind of main reason is because it's one compact system. If you saw my video in the past when I went with the XT5 and the pancake lens, which I'll link right up above, you'll know I absolutely loved the experience of having one single camera, small and light, with the one lens on it. And the GFX100 RF fits that perfectly. The size is only a little bit bigger than an XT5, and the weight is pretty much the same as well. Now, usually when I travel, I like to travel with a single bag. I've been totally converted to a single bag travel. If you're like that, sound off in the comments below, but it changed my life traveling for 30 days with only a single bag. So I really like my things to be compact. Now, I could go with something like the X100. That is a tiny camera. However, I'm losing out on resolution and also versatility on my photos. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the X100 and I'll be making some videos about it soon, but the GFX100 RF is such a beast of a camera and it's so small. It's gonna fit in my bag perfectly in between the rest of my clothes and things, and I think it's gonna be a great choice as far as a travel camera. Again, it's only a little bit bigger than the XT5 with a pancake lens on it, so I'm very much looking forward to using this camera. On that same note, the second reason is because it has a built-in lens. Just like the XT5 with the pancake lens, the GFX100 RF is the smallest GFX camera, and its built-in lens does not take up a lot of space. When you don't have the hood accessory actually on the GFX100 RF, its footprint is tiny. Now, I will be bringing the hood with me so that I can use a filter as well, but that just adds a little bit of length to the front of the camera. It's really not that bad. And also, while I travel, I can always take that off so I have more space to pack the camera. And that's one thing I love about it. The fact that they were able to pull off a full GFX body with that huge sensor and still get the lens on it not being absolutely giant is like, I don't even know how they pulled that off, but really it is so great. It's gonna fit in my bag amazingly. One thing I don't wanna have to do on a trip is deal with taking my lens off just so I can pack my camera and then putting it back on when I wanna take a photo. I also don't wanna deal with a zoom lens with the thing coming out and the lens just being huge. There's so much I don't want to deal with. I'm traveling for the experience of the travel and the fun. I just want to take photos and not think about my camera. And the GFX100 RF 100% is that camera. You don't think about it at all. And I'll be honest with you all, when I use it at weddings, it is the absolute most fun camera to use. And I almost want to use it just by itself with nothing else. Like if I could pull off a wedding like that, I would totally do it. So again, having an extension of yourself where you can just take the photos, the GFX100 RF does that, and it makes packing much easier because I'm not taking my lens off and putting it on, risking the sensor every time. I just have my camera. If I want to put it in the bag, I put it in the bag. If I need to take it out, I take it out. And that's it. I don't want to deal with the lens. Now, the third reason is my most favorite feature of the GFX100 RF, and it's actually very similar to the XT5 and what I talked about traveling with it, which is the internal crop. Using that crop lever is life-changing. And like I said, I set up my XT5 to kind of do the same, but it's only a 40 megapixel camera, so it can only zoom in but so much. With the GFX100 RF, I'm able to do like 4 times the crop on the photo in camera. Also, I have all those different aspect ratios as well. So I really can take my time and shoot the photos the way I want to. You know, I could have a day where like, maybe I just wanted to shoot everything in 16:9 to get like a real cinematic look to the photos. All I gotta do is change that in camera. It'll automatically change the JPEGs and it'll save the crop information on the RAWs. So I have both options in camera. The internal crop is one of my favorite features, and if you have not used the 100 RF, go rent one and give that a try. I know some people may think it may be gimmicky or it just doesn't make sense. Again, doing street photography like this, being able to punch in when I need to get some more reach on the photos is gonna be huge for anything, especially since, again, it has a fixed lens. There is no zooming. So this is my favorite feature. This is the #1 reason why when the 100 RF got announced, I was like, this is it. This is my street photography and travel camera, hands down. And on that note, the next reason why I'm really looking forward to using this camera while traveling as well is the 100 megapixels. Now, not only do I have the crop in camera where I can go ahead and get my compositions the way I want while I'm shooting, again, if I'm shooting in RAW, I'm getting that whole photo. And 100 megapixels gives you a lot to work with. The amount of cropping you can do on your photos is ridiculous. And since it already has a 35 mil lens on it, which I think is like a 28 mil full frame equivalent, like it's pretty wide. I'm not gonna be that close to my subjects all the time while traveling. So being able to just punch in and post is gonna give me so many more options for my photos. And let's not even include if you're gonna do something like make a panoramic photo or something of that sort. You just have so much more to work with. So the GFX system by itself is a great option, but the 100 RF is almost made specifically for street photography and travel photography. And again, being able to crop like that is the biggest reason why, in my opinion. And last but not least is the size and weight of the camera. I've talked about this many times over, but it's basically about the same size as the X-T5. It's just a little bit bigger than it, and a little bit more weight to it, but for a single bag carry, wanting to keep everything nice and light, the GFX 100 RF is the best camera for that. Size and weight is one of the biggest factors for me when it comes to traveling, and obviously there's options for smaller cameras. I can go with like the XT30 or something of that sort, or the XS20, which I'm using for this video, but at the end of the day, they're not a GFX system camera. So the fact that I can have a full-blown GFX pretty much at the size of an XT5, like I really just cannot get over that. The image quality is great. I've been using it at weddings. I absolutely love this camera. So that size and weight, plus the crop feature, plus getting that 100 megapixels, like the GFX 100 RF has everything you would want for travel. And I cannot tell you all how excited I am to use it for this trip. And honestly, if you're curious more about my thoughts on the GFX 100 RF, I actually have a really cool blog post about it that you can check out on my website. And speaking of websites, let's not forget to talk about this video's sponsor, Squarespace. As a photographer, having a web presence is extremely important, especially if you're running a business and not just taking photos. If you'd like to share your photos in a portfolio aside from any type of social media, and also run your business, I would highly recommend Squarespace. Squarespace is an online platform that will make it extremely easy for you to build a website and build your online presence. They have amazing templates that make it extremely easy to start your website, so you don't need to have any design knowledge before the fact. However, keep in mind everything is customizable as well. So you're not just getting a blanket template that's gonna look like everyone else's website, you can customize it however you want. I mean, just take a look at my website. I've been using Squarespace for over 11 years now. I've customized it. I can't even tell you how many times. This site looks like mine. It does not look like any other templates. On top of making it easy to build your website as well, Squarespace has so many features. Honestly, I could make a whole video alone on just the features, but analytics is one of the biggest ones I use most often, on top of commerce, being able to sell physical and digital products. If I ever get to the point of having a physical product, I can literally just add that into the offerings of digital products I already have. Having a platform where you can do that with your business and have it just grow into whatever you need it to be is huge, and it's the main reason I recommend Squarespace to all photographers. So if you haven't made your website yet or are looking to make an upgrade, definitely check out the link in the description below for 10% off of your first website or domain. Again, do not slack on having a website. I know everyone uses social media, so you think that might be the way to go, but trust me, if you're trying to make more money and look like a legitimate business, you need a website. Now that you know my thought process on why I wanted to bring the 100 RF with me on this trip to Japan, let's actually talk about the accessories I bought for that camera. As you may have known or seen in my earlier videos, I have been using the 100 RF for weddings now, but I recently decked it out for travel, and I think these accessories really are going to help the process and just make it a fun trip overall. And as you can see, I added a fair bit to it. So let's talk about what all accessories I'm actually using with the GFX 100 RF. Starting out with the accessory I actually just received in the mail like literally yesterday, which is the small rig hand grip. Now the grip on the 100 RF is kind of shallow, but if you're used to using Fujifilm cameras like I am, that's actually not a big deal. It reminds me a lot of like the X-T5 grip. So that's kind of beside the point, but adding this hand grip to it helps out with the grip and gives it a cool little retro style with this wood on the side. You also get a bracket on the bottom so I can hook this on a tripod, and having an easy way to get on and off of a tripod while I'm traveling is going to be huge. The hand grip comes in silver and black, so you see I got this silver one for mine to match my camera, and it looks great, and it doesn't add a lot of extra size to it, which is what I like most. The RF is kind of tall comparative to other Fujifilm cameras, so it makes more sense to not have it be too tall, but like, I don't mind this at all. The size is really great. And also it comes with a soft shutter release. This is my first time using a soft shutter release, but honestly, it feels really nice. Now I'm like, hey, why haven't I been doing this on all my other cameras? So I'll probably upgrade at least my X-T5s with a soft shutter on it. Honestly, if y'all are fans of it, let me know in the comments below because I'm late to the party. But I really like this hand grip. I like the way it looks. It feels nice. It's not in the way. The only thing I didn't do with the accessories, it comes with like a little 3M tape part for the back here for your thumb. And I don't know. I'm not a fan of sticking stuff on my cameras like that. So I'm going to leave the back plain as it is, have the grip on the front. My second accessory is the Earth Black Mist filter. Now, we all know about black mist filters or filters in general. Since the RF already has a built-in ND filter, I don't need that at all. So I'm just using the black mist filter. Now, when I'm traveling and just shooting for fun, I always want my photos to have more of a film-esque feel to them. That's why I chose a black mist filter. Now, as far as my settings go, I have my grain cranked up on the photos, and I really am just trying to get more of a film look. I have the sharpness pulled down to -4. I will be shooting in JPEG and RAW, and honestly, I'll probably put it on single shot. That way I can get that full 16-bit color and everything on the photos as well. So the black mist filter is going to give just a little bit of a little extra pop to the photos, give them some bloom on the lights and stuff, just something a little fun. Nothing too serious. Now, I went with the Earth one because I just like their overall stuff. I use them for all of my indie filters. And also, they have the nice small little, I think it's a 27. I can't remember what size it is for the RF, but I'll leave it somewhere in the comments or something for you all. I'll also have the links to all this stuff, but I'm not sponsored. Like, really, this is just what I bought. But the 100 RF actually comes with its own filter to help it be weather resistant. But I like the black mist, again, just to add to the look of the photos. And if you all want to see how the photos end up turning out after my trip, again, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel because I'll make a video about that as well. So Earth is a company that I absolutely love. I love their indie filters. This is the first ever black mist filter I've ever had. My first time using it as well, so we'll see how I like the results after I go on my trip. Third up is an accessory I recently made a video on, but it's this little compact flash, the Godox IT30 Pro. Now, I've used this a couple of times at weddings, but as you can see on the camera, this size is just perfect. It almost looks like it's a part of the camera. And if you have any small compact camera and you're looking for a flash, definitely pick this up. It works for any brand company. You just have to get the one for yours. So mine is the IT30 Pro F for Fujifilm. There's S for Sony, so on and so forth. This specific version costs a little bit more because it can actually trigger off-camera flashes as well. So I know there's a version that maybe it's not the Pro or the smaller version. It's a little bit cheaper and it's only a compact flash. So you might want to look into that. But since I use this also for wedding photography, this one was the choice for me. I'll leave a link up above to the video I made about this flash just so you can check it out and see my thoughts on it. But I'm a big fan. Now, bringing a flash with me is a half and half. I really don't plan on using a flash. But on the same end, if I find myself in a situation where I can use the flash, or maybe I'm taking portraits at night or something, I would rather have that option. And because it doesn't add a lot of extra weight or size to the camera, I don't mind it. Also, I can just easily pop it off at any time, which is what I might actually do. And then I'll just put this in my sling, which is how I'm going to be traveling around most of the time. So I haven't figured out exactly what I want to do with that, but I think I'll bring it just in case. It looks cool. I really like the way it looks on the camera, and just, it's such a good flash. Like, it has this thing on the side here where you can actually soften the flash. So like, since it's not huge, I like bringing things for the just in case, but keeping the packing nice and small. Now, some of the obvious accessories are going to be SD cards and also additional batteries. Now, when I travel, I don't like to bring a lot of batteries, and the GFX100 RF actually has great battery life. So I'm only going to bring one additional battery. So the one in the camera and then the one that I'll be carrying with me. I should be fine without having to do that, but I also will usually bring with me like a battery bank so I could charge the camera if I absolutely have to. But again, I don't imagine that being the case. Per day, I should be able to get through everything I need with 2 batteries. Again, I've shot whole weddings with this, so I've seen how amazing the battery can be, and I'm really not changing the battery until like after the ceremony and then maybe partway through the reception. So if I can handle that on a heavy day, I should be able to handle traveling through Japan and taking photos off and on, turning the camera on and off throughout the day without any problems at all. I'll be using these stock Fujifilm batteries, and I'll probably just charge everything right inside of the camera. I'm not gonna bring any additional chargers with me or anything like that. As far as my SD cards, you all know I use SanDisk pretty much religiously, but I recently bought the 1 TB SD cards. They were kind of expensive, but with a GFX system, 1 TB gives me a lot of breathing room for my photos. Again, like I said, if I'm shooting RAW and JPEG with single shot shutter and then using that full 16-bit color, it's really gonna eat the space up. One of my SD cards will be for all of my JPEGs, the other one will be for the RAWs. If I take any videos, I'll probably put them on the card that has the JPEGs as well, since there'll be a little bit more space there. And that's kind of my thought process for that. When I travel, I don't like having to worry about my SD cards and dumping data and all this kind of stuff. So I'm pretty much gonna stick with these 1 TB cards and just shoot on them the whole time, upload day in and day out, and that way I can have everything backed up, but then also just have everything on the cards in the first place. And honestly, like, I've never really used just a whole 1 TB card. It's honestly kind of weird looking at the card and just seeing that 1 TB on it. I'm so used to like the 128 gig, so on and so forth, but this will be interesting having everything on the card, even though it's a whole GFX system. So that should be fine. I have 2 of those cards. They're gonna last me the whole trip. I'm only there for like, what, 7, 8 days. This is probably the shortest trip I've ever taken, because the last trip, if y'all saw any videos about that, which I'll link up above, I was there for pretty much 30 days. And yeah, like that was a lot. So this will be a short, quick and easy trip. And then the last accessory, the most important, is gonna be this little neck strap I have here. This is pretty straightforward, but it is a neck strap from Holdfast Gear. Nice leather neck strap that I've been using for a while. The thing I like about it is that it's nice and long. So not only can I wear it just around my neck, but I can also come through the arm as well. And usually when I come through the arm like this, it's just when I'm carrying it around. I can still kind of get to it and shoot like this. Keeps it close to me. No one's just gonna snatch it off of me since it's around my neck still. I don't like carrying it just straight up around the neck. That's kind of rough. And generally I'll have my sling on during the day, so the sling's gonna also fit here, and this will be right over it. I'm not totally sure if Holdfast still sells this strap, but I'm pretty sure they do. You should check it out. They have all types of nice leather straps, and this, again, is just a nice, simple leather strap. This is how I'll be carrying my camera all day. That's all the accessories I'm gonna be using for the camera. Again, I really like the way it makes it look. It doesn't add a lot of weight or size to it, and packing this is not going to be a problem at all. Now, when I'm traveling, I generally use a single bag. Even for that 30-day trip I went on, I just used a single backpack, which, if you want to see more about that, I have a video right up above where you can see how I usually pack for my trips. But I take everything in that one single bag, and the RF is gonna fit in that just fine. Now, I have two subsets of what I call different types of days on my travel, especially when you're working with one bag, you have to plan everything out. So I have my days where I'm just kind of hanging out in an area. On those days, I'm gonna be using my sling. My preferred sling is a sling by Moment, which I've been using for a while now. I have two of their different slings, and the one I'm gonna be taking with me this time is their 4-liter sling. This sling is actually amazing. Like I said again, I'm not sponsored, but this 4-liter sling is awesome. I can fit a battery pack in it. It can fit my whole iPad mini in it. Like, there's so much space in this thing. And last time I was in Japan, I used their 2-liter sling and fell in love with it. So I know the 4-liter is gonna be a perfect everyday carry type of sling. So on the days where I'm in an area and will be there the whole day, I'll be using that sling, bringing along all my accessories, and then also carrying the 100 RF on that strap. But I also have my travel days. These are days where I'm checking out of my hotel, moving to another location, and then I won't be able to check in until like 3 or 4. And if you visited Japan yourself, you know they're very strict on their check-in times. For the hotels, there's no early check-in at all. So I really will just kind of be out with all of my stuff on me. On those days, the sling gets packed back into the bag, and the camera will stay on the outside with my bag as well. I've been using a bag from BagSmart for a while now, and honestly, I wanted to not like the bag. I thought it was just like a really cheap bag, but it is the best bag I've ever used. And it's great for solo travel and packing all of your stuff in one place. So again, if you want to see that video where I'm showing you how I pack it, definitely make sure to check it out because I've been highly surprised by that bag every time I use it. And that's gonna be my approach to packing and traveling while I'm there. Since most of the time I'm gonna be shooting, I wanna have my camera out and ready for whatever is going on, even on those days where I'm traveling between locations. The biggest thing to keep in mind is that this bag that I use is not really a camera bag, so I really am just putting the camera in there and just having it in there when I'm not using it. I'm not trying to go in and out of the bag, and in all honesty, I'm not a big fan of all the like camera backpacks because I feel like it screams photographer and it's obvious as day when you have to go into it showing off all the gear in it. It's like, oh, look at all this money I got. You know, like I feel like you're gonna get robbed real quick doing that all the time versus just having your camera on you out in the open. Obviously, either way, people are gonna see it, but having to take your whole bag off and go into the bag, I think is not a good look, but I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this trip. I'm excited for using the 100 RF out in the wild while traveling. I think the photos are gonna look amazing. And again, like I said, like and subscribe. Keep an eye on the channel if you wanna see more about the 100 RF and also how my trip ended up going and any of the photos. Again, too, if you want to see more about the 100 RF, I have a great playlist right here of all the different videos I've made so far about my experience with it, photo shoots with the camera, and I'll be adding to it as I make more videos as well. Let me know in the comments what you think about the 100 RF, if you would use it for travel as well, and I will catch you all next time.